This is going to be your general morning reminder, just depending how you woke up this morning, that this world, this simulation is not real. And if this simulation, therefore, is not real, that means that we are basically under no, let's say, limitations, only the limitations that we are imposing on our own consciousness. Thank goodness for TikTok, okay? I need to sometimes tap in every now and then and hear from other content creators that are going through the same things that I'm going through, and I'm happy that I'm not the only one, and I'm not the only one like hearing these parasitics, these demonic entities behind these vessels, like, you know, doing the things they do. And it is funny. It's funny only like if you are able to hear the other content creators also talk about it, because then we can all laugh about it because we are experiencing it. Obviously it's also funny because now you're awake, so you understand what's going on. It wasn't funny when you really believed in it and you're like, what in the world? But yeah, just like crazy extents that these NPCs are going to try to get your attention. Like, it'll be like you live in a building, for example, and you know, they want to make sure that as they pass by your apartment, like they make certain comments so that you overhear it over and over. Or it just like just strange things, like they just like, you know, are going out of their way to try to get your attention in the most like ridiculous way. And like I said, I've already told y'all, I don't be looking at anybody. And you know, all this talk, but yet they need your energy. Otherwise nothing can pop off and they can't do anything with themselves except just try every day to do the same exact technique that's not working, because you know, months have passed by, and obviously as the time is passing by, everybody's awakening even more, so we're even able to see behind it even better. So I don't know, but the idea is, one of the gifts of being allowed to see behind the veil, let's put it that way, God giving you the gift to see behind the veil, is like a acceleration in your awakening process, because you're seeing the dynamics of how this world really works. So, and I'm not saying that I still sometimes don't start like having those thoughts like, oh gosh, like what is this, what's gonna happen now? I'm not saying that doesn't happen, that you will still, because this is you know what it is, like you'll still sometimes get pulled into it. But that's why, you know, scripture is important, affirmations are important, like whatever you're using to reaffirm and cast out all doubt, use it, because it will creep in on you. You know, these people are like shooting frequencies and drones all around us also, so not every thought is even from us, but it's just that concept that it makes you understand. And I say it to my kids sometimes also when we're walking in the street, and I start to be like, oh, how am I going to get this? Or how am I? And I just remind myself, like, you know, you hear one of the little like parasitic NPCs pass by and they say something to try to pull you into your narrative. And you're like, you see, this ish isn't real. It's not real. It's like impossible. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous at this point. So it's a further reminder every time they do it. And I mean, that's why it's dangerous maybe sometimes to fall into comfort, because spiritual laziness, because maybe if you're in an environment where also you're not hearing these things, or it tones down, you're not going to have the same fire, for example, so every now and then, or that little burst of just a little bit of anger, not really like anger that is like messing with you, but that kind of like that burst of energy to be like, you know what, today I'm gonna go and rebuke these demons down to oblivion. Like, you kind of like, I think we kind of need that reminder from them that, you know, it's not real, and therefore we have the power to pray, and our words are moving mountains, and it's all through us. It's all about us, basically, through Christ, because that's what he was teaching us, that it's us. We are the ones creating through Christ, through God. We're the ones connected to God and source. So, you know, and I say this all the time. But like the same way, every now and then I need a reminder. I'm also reminding you guys, this ish is not real. Half of the things you see happening in front of you, are not like real. They are really going out of their way to get your attention in the most ridiculous way too, because it just like, you, just to give you an example, let me give you an example because people won't believe this. So imagine my narrative was that I was a snitch. I was a snitch for the Matrix. That's what I was a snitch for. But let's say they said I was a snitch in the neighborhood, right? And like there'll be like scenarios where like you'll be in the supermarket, people will come like with a phone because they're always talking to Satan, come with the phone and act like they're talking and relaying like really important information and days of like, you know, shenanigans and things about to go down. So like as if like you're gonna overhear it and then like believe it. Like it's so weird because you would think like, no, at this point, right, you would think like if I'm supposed to be, you know, just for example, let's play into the narrative. If I'm supposed to be a snitch, out of everybody that you should be around talking, it would be me, right? Because y'all already claim that it's me. So it's just, but I'm just playing devil's advocate here because, you know, you just ignore it all. But I'm just saying, it doesn't even make sense because at this point, the Matrix is so broken. They're just out there just doing whatever. Just doing whatever. So like I said, and I said this in another video, like my goal is to be at a level of consciousness that is so deep that like, you know, you see them and you hear them and it's like it just passes over your head entirely. And I can do that on some occasions. And like I said, another technique that I mentioned before, like if you start to feel like a bombardment of thoughts, just like hold your breath and just be still and be silent. But all these things also come with prayer. So remember what I said. And you know, you'll hear this in a lot of also meditation videos or self-help videos. Take that moment in before you wake up to speak to God and to pray and to connect. Like today is Thursday. Before I would maybe do a mass this morning, but since I was doing some paperwork today, you know, like I just went to the church by myself. There was like no one in there, and I prayed with my kids before they left school, and I pray again, like, you know, constant, just being in constant connection, because the more spiritual warfare that you're facing, the more you have to hold on to God, and He will be there guiding you along the way. He will be sending those nudges and those messages to you, whether through dreams, whether through things that pop up on your algorithm that like make you think, and you know, you'll get through it. Okay, I already think that for the most part, like if you're even watching these videos that I'm doing, like you've passed the brunt of it. We've passed the test. Okay, we're on the right timeline for the most part. And so don't worry too much about it, but definitely when those thoughts of doubt come up, you have to rebuke them, and you have to really understand if you're not hearing, you know, these kind of things or seeing these kind of things yet, please take my word for it. I will swear on the Bible, I will swear on my children's head that this world is not real. It is a construct of our consciousness. It is a simulation that is very orchestrated, and you are the one who can change it just by speaking, just by prayer, and just by changing your energy and uplifting your vibration. And that's all I wanted to say this morning, so I hope it helps someone.